Hey, we're live. We're doing it live. And yes, it is Wednesday. It is Xbox Nation Day, and we are here. We are live, and we're gonna have a lot of fun because I can already tell you right now that Mooch has a strong opinion on Xbox XO, and so it should be an interesting video or podcast. Yeah, video podcast, whatever. But yeah, so
podcast and it goes into a video later on. So
yeah, exactly. So we're gonna have a good time. There's a ton of stuff to talk about, which is always good for these type of things. I will remind you guys to please hit that like button early and often, share it out, social media, all your favorite places. Let them know that Crapgamer is live and his crew is with him and they're kicking it old school, whatever that means. First and foremost, Mooch, welcome back. You were away, so nobody's even heard your opinions on any of this stuff. It's gonna be fresh. How you doing, man?
Doing good, buddy. And it is, I've been chomping at the bit to get back into podcasting. It's me and you talk about all the time, crap. We're like, let's take a break. Oh, we need a break. We've been, you know what? I take, this wasn't a planned break, but I had to take a break for a weekend. I was out of town and I'm sitting there and I'm like, man, do I want to talk to everybody about this? There's so much. There's new games coming out. There's the XO event. There's so much that's been going on Twitter. And I've put my 2 cents in on Twitter, but really you just can't get your point across like you can during podcasting.
Well, yeah, you can only say so much on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you can only say so much, but everybody's got an opinion on this stuff. And I'm always quick to point out it's opinions. You know what I mean? Like you can have a different one than me and it's not wrong. I'm not wrong. You're not wrong.
I've been finding opinions all day today. Exactly what an opinion is. There's so many people, yo. It's great.
It is. It's like and if you're angry about someone else's opinion, that's a you problem, right? Like I'm never going to get angry at someone else's opinion on Xbox or anything like that because it's not that serious. But hey, at the end of the day, it's just all good fun for me. It might not be for somebody else, but it should be. It's just video games. We also got the Salt King here. Salty, what's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on? Hey, guys, I decided to change it up tonight. If you saw on my Instagram, I'm kicking it old school like Crap was saying. I got an old school Dr. Pepper with some real sugar in there. So we're avoiding the energy drinks tonight, but I assure you guys, I will still bring the salt. Okay, it's coming.
That's good to hear. And we got the man. He's back. Xbot 4372 aimbot. He's here. What's up, man? How's it going?
What's up, man? And I changed my name on Twitter. I am no longer aimbot, but I am agent bot because we are going to be going in a couple months on Crackdown, man.
Yes. Very excited about that. You know what I mean? I saw a lot of people very excited about what they saw from that, which is good. We're going to definitely talk about that tonight as well. So hang on to that. And making his return, Attack the Glitcher. Thank you very much for coming in here. What's up, man? How's it going?
Not much, man. Same fight, different round. I didn't change anything. It's all the same. Everybody's got different things going on. They change names or they're changing up energy drinks. I'm just here to talk some video games.
Yes, absolutely. Foxy couldn't be here tonight. Something came up, but hopefully she'll be back next week. So wish her well and all that kind of good stuff. I'm
starting to think it's me, Crap. I'm starting to do I smell or something? Like
no, I wouldn't think that. Maybe it's the vape noise, right?
Darth Vape.
I promise mute myself 35% of the time tonight. Okay, is that good?
Oh, yeah, okay. Man. Look, that doesn't really bother me. I'm cool with it, so it's all good. I kind of want to jump into the XO stuff. I liked it, right, for what it was. I know like a lot of people could think one thing or the other.
Yeah.
There were some parts I didn't like. Of course. Right. No matter what they do or anybody does, they can always do more. They can
something.
Yeah, they can always do more. Like there is I liked what they had. I liked what they had to show for the most part. So I'm not really upset or anything like that.
Crap, I take things away from it. I don't know if the first thing I'm gonna give Mike right back to you, Crap. But the first thing I took away from the XO show was the minute Mooch does an open mic night, okay, in New York City, I'm bringing Crapgamer to the front row because I am going to get glorious applause and a hell of a write-up the next day. Go ahead, Crap.
Well, you know what? I always take notes, and so like that. Part of the thing is, I know a lot of people just think that. You just roll out and you go, and some people might do it that way. But like during the XO, I'm sitting at my computer watching it, taking notes and stuff like that. There was a few good things that I really, really liked. They brought back Summer of Arcade, but it's Winter of Arcade now. and it's going to be taking place this December, which I thought was really cool because I used to love that on Xbox 360. We've always saying, hey, give us that arcade back, give us that arcade back. And now we finally got it, and I'm really happy about that. Again, the Xbox Adaptive Controller, this is something that you would have thought with technology would happen a long time ago with this stuff, but the Adaptive Controller is going to be launching in 17 new markets. That means people all over in these different countries are going to be able to enjoy gaming if they have disabilities, and I think that's great. Everybody should be able to game, forget about their troubles for a little while, have some fun. You know what I mean? Like, that's amazing. I love that. That was actually a high point for me, seeing that just people are happy when they're gaming, and I love to see that, and now more people are going to be able to do that. Play with mouse and keyboard, you know, they just kind of announced it as like, here it is. You know, I don't think a lot of people are going to use this, right? No. I think even less people are going to use this than play anywhere or any of that kind of stuff. I don't see this happening.
Crap, with keyboard though, what they said with Fortnite is people who have mouse and keyboard will play against who?
Other people with mouse and keyboard.
Mouse and keyboard, yeah.
It detects it. See, Xbox. See, the thing I would have liked is a little bit of explanation on here, because some games, let me see what's on here. Vigor and Warface, I think. DayZ, apparently. These games are playing competitively, so if they would have made a little bit more of a point to stress, okay, well, you're not going to be able to play against other people. Now, we know Fortnite does that. That's the biggest game in the world. They don't want to screw that up. So I would have liked to see a little bit more news on that, like exactly how that's going to work. The Xbox backwards compatibility, we're seeing this stuff now. Are you guys seeing this Final Fantasy? They updated it, and it's like 4K. Yeah. Like, holy crap, people are super jealous of this. They even enhanced the
Did those games go on Game Pass too, crap?
No, they didn't go on Game Pass, but the reason why this is big is because these were like some of the first Final Fantasy games that the 360 got. And, you know, it's a very point of contention. You have a lot of PlayStation fans that are asking them to remaster it and sell them on PS4. Well, here they are. If you own them, they're free on Xbox 360, and they're already upgraded. It's basically a free remaster if you already own it, which I've never played these games, but they look amazing. I'm seeing screenshots. I'm like, holy crap. They showed some stuff.
13's really good, but 13.2 and 13.3, yeah, you can just take a back seat to those. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, I can understand that. I can understand that. They showed some Kingdom Hearts 3, some Tomb Raider stuff. Just Cause I think looks good, but I just got a feeling it's going to run like crap.
It's a dumpster fire. I love how they just keep coming out with new ones every couple of years.
Somebody's buying. It's like those damn Chevy Chase movies. They kept making them, and somebody's watching them.
Did you just relate Just Cause to Fletch? Holy shit. That's great, crap. That was awesome.
But no, look, here's the thing. It's easy to hate on them, but they did have some third-party stuff. You know, Kingdom Hearts, Just Cause, Jump Force stuff, Devil May Cry. That Devil May Cry 5 stuff looks amazing.
Devil May Cry looks great.
Yeah, like they were talking about that new Void mode. I actually have known, not a Devil May Cry guy, but this looks so good. You know what I mean?
It's awesome. Yeah. Can we talk about that Kingdom Hearts segment? I'm sure we'll get into it, but
go ahead, man.
Extremely awkward for me as a viewer to be watching this, because the crowd's like cheering randomly when they don't know what's going on, obviously, because they don't understand Japanese for the most part. Yeah. And then it's like the translation, and then you wait for like 2 minutes to get the response, and then the segment was extremely long. Like, I loved what I saw, honestly, with the Winnie the Pooh stuff and the videos and stuff, and I loved that the creator was there and he was taking selfies and all that good stuff, but it was, I don't know, it's kind of awkward for me.
Yeah, you know, I get that. I like, for me, it's going to be my first Kingdom Hearts game. I take the L on the whole remaster stuff. I thought for sure I'd heard that we might get those. Those weren't announced, kind of is what it is. But I'm looking forward to the game. So they did show that stuff off. It was a little bit awkward, but having that guy up there, I think, is a huge win for Microsoft.
It is.
You know, just in and of itself. They showed the new State of Decay 2 update, the new Sea of Thieves update, the arena, which I thought is really cool. And we'll probably get into that a little bit. They did that Minecraft thing, which I just felt it was bad.
God. Cringe.
It was like, that was the part where I was just like, oh, come on. The Fortune Island stuff is going to be the biggest Forza Horizon 4 expansion ever. Of course, that's going to be amazing. Are you kidding me? They talked about their Black Friday deals, which are kicking off before Sony's, which that means they listened, because last year, remember, Sony outdid them. They started earlier, and Microsoft ended up, you know, kind of like being second place. They showed off Crackdown 3. which I thought was really cool with the explosive wrecking zone stuff, and to give it a release date.
Yo, I am so hyped for that, man.
Look, here's the thing. Nobody was expecting anything, right? Oh, this game's going to be a 50 Metacritic, blah, blah, blah. Now people are like, oh, that's going to be good. And then you have the other camp that's like, you know, well, they downgraded. Okay, I mean, this is something that's never been done before. Obviously, maybe it was a little bit too intense for them to be able to do it the way they were planning on doing it. And so they scaled it back. It still looks incredible. I like the artwork. I like the graphical style. I think the neon and stuff, it's perfect.
The whole scaling back thing, if when you looked at it, it looked like it was shaved off. The way that they did it now, it looks like something that they would have planned from the beginning. So if people didn't know about like the plans for the whole city being destructible and everything at that point in time, nobody would say anything about that, you know, because it looks like it still looks like a quality multiplayer, man.
I keep telling people, at the very least, you can try it in Game Pass, and it might be great.
That's
like
the key right there.
Exactly.
To me, it looks like a boatload of fun. That
Which
multiplayer,
game is this?
Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3.
Well, you know, it's funny you guys say that. I purposefully, before the show, I went back and watched a little Crackdown 3 footage off of XO. And I think if you want to be hyped for Crackdown 3, you better get hyped about the single player. That multiplayer, the thing about it that got me a little, and I really want you guys to put your emotions aside for a second, hear me out. When I watched the 5-on-5 go on, the destructibility and all that was great. It looked great. But the problem right? Naturally. But the problem I had, Crap, was when I saw the one character jumping in midair, aiming, and shooting at the other character that was going behind the building, it looked a little like Recore. Okay, it was like the very basic crosshairs that was on the Coleco version of Top Gun, and then you're just like, and the guy was going behind the building, and it's just like, and as you're going, it was cutting through the building, but it just looked really primitive in the shooting mechanic.
I thought you were going to go the direction
kind of Crackdown though,
the auto aim route, but you didn't go there. But
it's got the lock on, which some people are about.
There was that too, and maybe no, you know what though, Salt? Let me add to that. Maybe that's the reason I felt that way. Whatever that was that they depicted when they were doing the illustration. Okay, I just thought that looked real cheesy. It looked cheeseball. I didn't care for it.
What's the game that went from Cliffy B to PlayStation? Where they're slinging all over the place. Lawbreakers.
Yeah.
So what I immediately got that impression, like we're jumping everywhere and people are flying everywhere and doing this, and I was like, I hope this doesn't go the Lawbreakers route.
Yeah.
But I don't think it will. No. I think that this auto lock mechanic's kind of necessary because the way you move in that game with thrusters and going around the buildings and stuff, and it's predicated on destroying the other person's tower, I believe. Like it's not, I don't think it's going to be a priority necessarily to be killing players all the time. You're going to be focusing on taking the tower down. So if a player comes in your field of view and you have to aim down sights and track them when you're in the air, it's going to be very difficult, even for like someone that's very good at FPS, you know, and aiming down sight. So it kind of takes that, you know, I don't know, the stress away of trying to lock on people, because you imagine how frustrating that'd be if you're trying. You have to, you know, target with your sticks. You're jumping around. It just seems like it's setting it up for some kind of a colossal failure. Because
Salty, that's why they put the lock on mechanism.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Man.
Hey, just to reiterate it, that lock on is in all the Crackdown games.
All of them. It is.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So I mean, like for me personally, the destructibility is all 100% there. It's a little bit more arena. I'm not sure how a giant city would work with 5v5 anyway. Like that seems like maybe a little bit of overkill and they couldn't get it working, but now you're going to be able to have that no matter which Xbox One you play on. So I think that's cool. You know, they also scaled back the co-op. It's now, instead of 4-player campaign co-op, it's 2. Yeah,
that's disappointing.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is some disappointment to be had there, but they're getting it out. They did double down on the money on the game, so they're able to actually, you know, kind of get this game to out to the people, you know, and it's going to launch a little bit earlier than people anticipated. And, you know, I like that. You know, I thought they did a good reintroduction.
They still, and Crap, don't get me wrong, everything you just said, I agree with you. You know, they put more money into it. They definitely went back to the boardroom. They, you know, the drawing board. They got things back in order to a certain degree. But I kind of feel like if this was a car accident and you needed a new door ordered, they just put Bondo over it. You know, and I mean, I think that, right? I just think this is, it still doesn't, it's not getting Microsoft's attention. You can see that they showed it at XO. They showed it in the Terry Crews commercial was bigger than the actual showing of the game. And I'm like, they're doing all this hoopla to kind of be like, they're like, and now Jeff Rubenstein's going to juggle on stage in a Crackdown t-shirt. Oh, yeah, and here's the game in the background. Don't look at the game. Oh, wait, here comes Larry Herb, and he's going to walk the dog in the yo-yo. But don't look at the game. Don't look at the game. The game's in the background. And I'm like, why is it that you guys are hiding the game? Show the game. We've been waiting for 4 years. Show the game.
It's like the Kevin Butler stuff.
It's the Kevin Butler
game going on in the background, but here's Major Nelson acting crazy.
Look at that. Major Nelson's doing shadow puppets with his white gloves. No, don't look at the game. Don't look at the game. Don't look at the game. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, realistically, I think
a lot of people.
It's a great Game Pass game. It's gonna be the best Game Pass game of all time.
I think you could get close to 80 meta on that, which is going to surpass a lot of people's expectations, which I think is good. Y9 Power says, "Hey, crap, you and Mooch called in on Microsoft buying studios. People didn't believe you. Here's proof. Developers.
Hey,
yes.
Hey, you guys. Every time I hear developer, I think that now.
I know, right?
Every time you guys say it or anybody says it, I hear it in my brain. It's like,
well, it's great. I mean, that guy loved the company. He was passionate. He's got a sweat. I just imagine that's Mooch, and when he's doing the podcast, right?
That is me. When I leave, I gotta change everything. I'm yelling. I'm screaming.
After E3, I'm like that too, man. Because you know how it is, man. I podcast for so long and do so many shows that day. It's like, man, you're ripe. Well,
Stephen Rauch says, Mooch, you're the first person complaining about Crackdown. I don't think I'm the first. And then
Shinzo,
he says, that's fine, Mooch. Keep looking for negative. Shinzo, first of all, I want to just say this first and foremost. I'm not a Crackdown fan. I don't pretend to be one. Number two, here's the deal. Even with Crap's positivity, and I agree with Crap, he made some great points. They put a lot of money back in this game. They delayed it enough, and I'm glad that they did, because could you just imagine if this thing came out a year ago?
This thing would have been a 50
Holy shit.
And it would have got ripped apart.
Mooch, you know how you said you're not a Crackdown fan?
Right.
I can honestly say I'm not a Crackdown fan either.
Right.
Like, before this game was coming out and everybody was saying it should be canceled and stuff like that, I was just at a point where I didn't want to hear from it anymore. But honestly, this game is kind of turning me into a Crackdown fan, because I'm excited to play it.
Which mode? Am I the only one in here that's been a Crackdown fan ever since 1 going through 2? Like, am I the only one?
Well, here's the thing. I like Crackdown. I like Crackdown 1 and 2. Of course, I got Crackdown 1 because it came with the Halo 3 beta, right? Like everybody.
But then you ended up playing it like crazy.
And I ended up really enjoying it. The collecting Mooch, you like collecting crap. You played Spider-Man. Collect backpacks, collect orbs, and get agility.
That is true.
You can get really addicted to this. In fact, Microsoft.
Dude, you might be able to jump through some pollution as well if you want.
Exactly.
You don't know. So here's the thing. Let me explain something to you. And Crap, I had this meeting with you, sidebar with you off podcast. To be honest with you, Spider-Man was organized nonsense that I enjoyed. What I don't like about Crackdown is it's absolutely chaos.
It's over.
Like, Agent, get in your car. Get out of your car. Look up. Look down. Look right. Look left. And you're like, what the fuck do you want me to do? They're like, no. There's a bad guy to your right. You don't have to fight him if you don't want to. Go to your left. And you're like, what do you want me to do? Collect the orbs, I said, Agent. You're like, come on, man. Like, it's an organized mess.
Right.
And I don't understand the hype around it.
I love it just because of that, man. Dude,
I gotta talk about this. So I didn't play or finish Crackdown 1, and it became free. I popped that bad boy in, and it was a night I couldn't sleep. I was playing that for like 3 hours. Like, you can't jump, you can't get orbs. You start getting orbs. It's so addictive, dude. Because you can start jumping further, jumping higher. You get more shit. You can go kill like enemies, and you hunt down these bosses or whatever. I didn't give the game enough of a chance. And I think that this game is going to expound upon that, obviously, because it's the third iteration, just from what I'm seeing. Yeah. And Crap, he stole my thunder. I think this game is going to be sitting at a low 80 for Metacritic, because it's the combination of the multiplayer and the single player experience, and it's hard to separate those two now. Yeah. And I don't know how these reviewers are going to do it, because like Red Dead Redemption came out, it didn't even have its multiplayer, and it's getting these great scores. Yeah. So now Crackdown comes and it's kind of split, because you saw with the downloads even separated, right? There's the multiplayer download and there's the single player download, so it's clearly different.
I think you guys sound like Mets fans. We get real excited in March when we see one of the young pitchers throwing right, and then all of a sudden you get to the end of April and you're like, oh shit, we're still the Mets. Crap. Here's the thing, real quick though. The problem with it is I think this thing's going to be, and I'm going to give the mic right back to you. This thing's got 72 written all over it.
I mean, hey, it could. I actually thought that maybe it would be that way before, but what I'm seeing now, I think people are going to be genuinely surprised by this multiplayer.
Yeah.
It's doing something that's never been done before. Like everybody was able to try it. Eurogamer, Jez, they're like, holy cow, just over Xbox Live, the fully destructible environments work and the stuff stays on the ground. So Jez
tells it how it is too, right? He will say if a game's bad. He's not just spinning this, man.
Right. I mean, Salty, I'll actually agree with you. No, when Jez says something's good, I would say that the quality's there. The problem is what I have what Crap just said a second ago. You know, he said, well, you know, there's this mode and people are going to be really into it and it's never been done before. The fact that you're going to have a small map that has the destructible buildings in it, and yes, when they crumble, the actual crumbling.
Well, there's a couple different maps.
Right, that's fine. 2, 3, 4, 10. Doesn't matter. But it's gonna be a smaller map size, and you're in the lock on, and you're running around, and you're just basically pulling the RT and moving your left analog left and right while you swivel around and shoot people Contra style. You know, my problem with this is that it's going to get tiresome. It's going to get old fast. And when I mean fast, I mean like 2 hours fast.
I mean, wouldn't you think it'd be fun to destroy a building, though? Like you're shooting at a building, you're trying to fight other people at the same time.
For about 5 hours.
Mooch, let me say this, though. You're thinking of it as a TDM thing. It's not. Like, who cares about it's not about the kills and the deaths. It's about destroying.
So it's like a Splatoon then. Like the most buildings destroyed or the most paint.
Oh, yeah. You're trying to destroy their tower. They're trying to destroy your tower. That's it. So the kills are incidental. So there's certain game modes in other games where they don't even count the kills. Like, you know.
That's not as fun as you guys think it is. Because then what happens is you got some of you guys that want to go out there, maybe in one of them, and you go out there and you're trying to aim and kill the opponent. And the problem is that they're over there hitting your foundation, your tower crumbles, and you lose.
Now, they could add a TDM style stuff in there later, but what they're doing, and then the campaign I thought looks really cool too because they've really added.
Good.
They've really added to that. Like I said, the 2-player co-op that's still better than nothing, but I would have liked them to stick with the 4. So a little bit disappointed with that.
All I gotta say is Terry Crews. That's all I'm gonna be playing as. The dude is amazing. Did you see that commercial? Oh my god,
dude! The commercial is hilarious. Like the guy, if that guy doesn't get you excited for it, I don't know what to say. Hey, over 520 people watching. Please hit that like button, guys. Let's see if we can't get up to 200 real quick because that would be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
I just want to hear Terry Crews run around power, and then he starts blowing people up.
Step your boom up. Yeah, baby. Yeah. So, yeah, man, I'm excited about this game. They did it the right way. I'm glad they didn't. It makes sense why they didn't talk about it earlier. Like when everybody's like, talk about it now. Show it. You know what I mean? This is a real problem. Like they
had to let that negativity kind of cloud kind of like simmer down or whatnot. That's exactly what they did, and it looks like it's working, man.
Yeah. So now we get this, and I think this is perfect.
We just need to call it how it is. This XO event, it really shouldn't probably have been called XO. It probably should have been the Crackdown 3 Game Pass event.
Yeah, honestly, Game Pass. I was waiting.
You know, like. I think that a lot of fans got their hypes up because they looked at old XO events and like, oh my God, look at all these announcements. But in reality, they're just trying to get good pub for Crackdown because it's coming up. They wanted to get some of the negativity out there, get the multiplayer out there. And they showed Game Pass. It was like a giant Game Pass commercial because that's the focal point, right?
Some people complained about it, but I mean, like, honestly,
that was great.
Me, like, that's what people don't understand this because when I say, like, I'm not a guy, I used to care a lot about the MPDs like everybody else. I was a warrior. I'm in the trenches. Like, you got to sell. Now it's like you see that the sales per se of Xbox consoles aren't what's driving them. It's this ability to get these subscribers to Game Pass, and that's enabling them to buy these studios to make content, right? Like how they're going to play it, that's up to you. They're always going to have a console or a streaming box or a phone, whatever you're going to be able to, you're always going to be able to have PC. It doesn't matter because it's Microsoft, right? So that doesn't matter. Like the more of that stuff you can get your content out on, the better, because Netflix, the reason why they're on a billion different things is because everybody can watch that on a PC, on a laptop, on a TV. TVs come with it built in. You can watch it on a phone. You know what I mean? It's on so many things, but it's still Netflix. You know what I mean? It's still Netflix.
The thing about Game Pass is, imagine we got the holidays coming up, right? Anybody coming in that gets an Xbox for the holidays, they automatically get a trial. They're getting so many games that they can play right off the bat. Not only do you have like the foundations with, you know, Gears and Halo and Forza Horizon, but games like PUBG and Hellblade, just so many games that you can play right off the bat. Yo, people are going to be like instantly hooked on this platform now.
Yeah. So that was super smart. And, you know, for whatever reason, you know, some people had a problem with this. Like, look, they're announcing what they announced, 18 games or whatever it was coming to Game Pass, including PUBG. You know, I think that pretty much says it all, really, like what they wanted to do and what they wanted to accomplish. That game, basically, they really used that game. You know what I mean? Like that game came out on Xbox at a critical time when they needed it. Got a bunch of hype, got a bunch of people on board, made them a lot of money, and now they threw it into Game Pass, and pretty much anybody can use it. And it's going to PS4, which we're going to talk about in a little bit as well. But yeah, I absolutely think they did a fantastic job with that. And to me, the Crackdown stuff and then the Obsidian and XL pickups, I think were really huge at the end. We knew that there was going to be something like that. The Obsidian one kind of leaked. I've been talking about that for months now. The NXL one, I had no idea. And then I'm looking up who these guys, they do the Wasteland series, which I thought was cool. You know, they do Bard's Tale and stuff like that. So I think that they're going to be able to do some nice mid-level stuff for Microsoft in the future. I think Obsidian's
let me tell you something. I would like to take a moment right now to thank Crapgamer and the rest of the panel. You guys just did a better job than the XL event. What you guys just did, right? Salty, in all honesty, if anyone goes back and listens to this later on, you'll be like, wow, that panel destroyed it. I mean, to be honest with you, that the problem is, Crap, is they got the wrong people in place here, okay? We say it time and time again. This is an Inside Xbox. I understand if you don't want to watch Inside Xbox, don't watch Inside Xbox. The problem is, Crap, they put it on there, okay? So they put it on there, and it's up for debate. And the problem about it is these guys that are doing it are not the right people to be doing it, okay? Maybe there's one or two that are okay. The rest got to go. And the other problem is that the way that they did this, it was just literally, you take the Obsidian thing, which you said yourself, we've known about this. There's been leaks in the white papers, everything that's come out.
I mean,
well, not just you, but Crap, it's all over the place. They show documentation, the whole thing. My point being is that's been out for a long time. So you take the Obsidian thing out, and you take the Terry Crews commercial out, and you had Inside Xbox again. And that's what I'm saying. That's why when I wrote to you, and you're like, well, Mooch, the flow was great. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Well, here's the thing. Here's what I'm saying, right? I'll explain what I meant. That crowd, that was the best. Like, if we had a crowd like that at E3, holy crap. Like, I'm a big wrestling fan, right?
Yeah.
And if there's a dead crowd, the show's not as exciting. If their crowd's into it and they're chanting, what? And you know what I mean? And then you're more into it. You're like, holy crap, this is awesome. They do that chant during wrestling shows, right? This is awesome, right? If you're just sitting there and it's like the Sony crowd all the time.
So now we're changing from the show was great to the audience.
No, I'm just saying the ambiance of the whole show.
Right.
And the pacing was much better.
Do you guys remember the PlayStation E3, how dead that was? That's an example of a dead crowd, you know? So it does affect the show.
Well, some E3s are like, here's the thing though, Salt, even though I get where you guys are going with this, but the Microsoft E3 event, we always hear from our friends Tim Dog and Southie and all those guys that are there that the audience is lit and it's awesome, but we don't hear it from where we're sitting. We can't really hear it. It sounds dead to us. So my point being is, that doesn't really make me think that the show was great because you have a bunch of like you go to a Mooch and Crap event, everybody's gonna be like, oh shit, there's Mooch. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't mean that the world was excited about it. Like, so my point being is that like that was a Xbox fan
people. No, look, the crowd got people salty. We got a guy in the chat right now. This Cordell guy says the audience was faking the whole time, bro. Stop lying. Like they
were not faking. They were not faking.
What did they do? They paid them off?
Dude, they were screaming. They were screaming Sea of Thieves, and people find that they're like unbelievable that people would be hyped about it. Well, guess what? They announced over 5-6 million people in that game.
Yeah.
Like it absolutely blows people's minds that people would be that excited about Xbox, right? And it absolutely was cool. So I get what you're saying with the whole inside Xbox things, and you would be right, but they did show off a lot of content, right?
Let me ask you, Crap. Let me ask you, as a big Xbox fan that you are, okay, and we all are, okay. Let me ask you this: was that an Inside Xbox or was that an XO event?
That was an Inside Xbox. I think the XO event was more of a fan fest. I don't know if they're gonna keep going with that XO thing.
I don't think my personal opinion, they probably shouldn't have even brought that up.
I mean, yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that. I think that
that's all I'm really saying. It was an inside Xbox, and you know what? Let's bring this down a notch, folks. Let's bring this down a notch. Inside Xbox, that was one hell of an inside Xbox.
Yeah, it was the best one.
It was shitty.
Yes.
I mean, you could make that. You could make that case,
you know what I mean?
Sure.
Yeah.
Fact of the matter is, this show should have been an hour 15 minutes, hour 30 minutes. You cut out a lot of the BS, like that Minecraft commercial.
Thank you.
That made me cringe. I literally asked my friends,
91 million people.
if you were locked on an island, right, and this is the only source of entertainment you have is this Minecraft commercial, what do you do? And the guy says, I drown myself in the ocean. That's what happened, because it was that cringeworthy.
Well, here's the thing. It started to get a little bit when that came up. I was like, hurry up and get past this. I get it. I would rather have that at the Inside Xbox than E3, to be honest with you. And same thing with Chris Charla, because Chris Charla took the stage. I would rather have them do that at the Inside Xbox than at E3, just 100% honest. So,
yeah.
You know, I mean,
I'd rather see somebody juggle fire than Chris Charla on stage.
And he has a bit of a lisp too, which I thought was he was like
that's why David Cross got motion pictures.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, I thought that was, but like I said, I didn't like everything about it, but overall, I thought it was a positive step in the right direction for that show. Right.
Crap. Check this out. Everything that we saw in the show, which I felt there was a lot of information there for people, especially going into the holidays. Right. You know, you had the discounts on the hardware, games. You had the Game Pass. They showed Crackdown 3, which is, coming up in a couple months, after the holidays and stuff like that. I feel they could have had all that stuff there. And then if they tease something at the end, I don't think anybody would be complaining the way that they are.
Well, that Xbox, that's where I'm going with all this. And I've said this, Salty went out and said months ago not to get hyped up. And what I said was, this is not what I think they're going to do. It's what I think they should do. And they did none of what I said they should do.
So plain and simple, we got to agree that it's a bad decision by Microsoft to call it XO. It shouldn't be called XO, and that's what caused this miscommunication and like unmet expectations by fans. Because it's not XO. It's not.
And that's it. And listen, to all you Xbox fans that are listening now and listening later, I'm not saying it was a bad show. What I'm saying was it was bad the way that they tried to change the narrative and gave you the same thing. You know what I mean? It's really the same thing. It's like if I served you a slice of pizza every night for 7 weeks, and then I'm like, tomorrow something completely different. I swear to God. I swear. And then you guys sit down, and I hand you a pizza roll. It's not a pizza. It's just enclosed.
Yeah.
Well,
it's the same thing.
Like I said, for me personally, I thought it was a good show.
It's a good show.
Some people might have expected more. It was about, as long I got the Crackdown 3 reintroduction, I got studio announcements. Phil Spencer, he said, he let stuff slip that we want. That was big news to me, right? The Ninja Theory thing about announcing their new game next year. Like, that just went over everybody's head. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I went back and watched it 3 times, like that part, because he clearly says it.
Phil Spencer slips like a double-sided piece of 3M tape. He doesn't.
I get that. I know exactly what you're. But I get that is planned, and that's what's great about it, right? Mm-hmm. Because he knows people want some of this kind of information, and so he let it out. But nobody really caught up with it. I do a video about it, and it's like, and then finally, like, and I'm not saying it was me, but it's like other people are starting to catch on to the fact that, hey, he's like, I'm looking forward to what they're showing next year, right? Like, holy crap.
Well, let me give you credit. Let me give you credit where credit's due, right?
Because I'm always paying much more attention.
Well, you said Ninja Theory is the farthest along with their newest acquisitions, and they should show something. Now, here's the thing. Okay, no one's disagreeing with you. No one on this panel. I wouldn't disagree with you on that. But my point is this: going back to what Xbox said, and what I've been saying for months, is that what we needed was, instead of a quote unquote slip where everybody needed to get their Ovaltine decoder ring out to figure out what the hell's Phil's
talking about. Put it up on the
screen,
baby.
Put it on the screen in a CGI, a 60-second CGI.
Close it out.
That shows the customers what in the world they paid for in the companies and what we paid for in the hardware.
You're not wrong. I just think that Phil is at this point where he's not going to do that.
That's a him. Let me tell you something.
Learn that he needs to do
that's
that.
A him.
Whether it's him,
big boy pants.
Like, I get what you're saying, but like, and this is probably damage control on my part. I just feel like those new announcements bring much more weight with new hardware being announced too. That's just my 2 cents, right? Like I got to be honest, because people go, oh, so now we're waiting for next gen. No, we have a lineup next year that sounds pretty incredible to me with Gears 5, Crackdown 3, Battletoads. You know what I mean? It sounds like we're getting a good games next year. We already know what we're getting next year, and it's a good lineup, right? Better than Sony's, which is confirmed Dreams and Days Gone. That's it. So what comes after that is probably next gen territory, and I feel like Microsoft is probably very smartly holding off on announcing the new stuff until it's a new hardware. You know what I mean?
But
that's just how I feel about it.
They could have done a quick little CGI and just like put the name Fable up at the end, right? And just in small letters underneath it.
Well, you know what?
Now in development, and then next year.
I like where you're going with this, but Xbox, let's think small for a second, okay? Let's think small. If we could have just seen, I know, right? If we could have just seen what Ninja Theory and maybe another.
Dude, I thought they were going to be there, man.
Just something. Show me something. Should be a blur.
Just like the screen goes black and it just says the company's name and then it says exclusive to Xbox. That would have like flipped people's minds. How
about the name of the company and then the name of their title and the screen? They did that with Metroid 4. There's still people clapping over at the Tokyo Game Center.
I get it, but I just want to say that I understand that, but they don't have to do everything like Sony or Nintendo does it. So I do think that they could have probably shown more, but I get a feeling why they didn't, and that makes sense to me too. You know,
shout out to Predator crap. Pred in the chat, he goes, I agree with Mooch. He goes, also, why didn't they show Ashen, Below, or Gears? Well, you know what? Gears, I get, Pred. They want to make that an E3 presence. I'm fine with that. They've clearly stated that. Why not? People know what Ashen is. People know what Below is. We've been waiting a very long time. That's something when Sony has their PSX, they show some of these smaller indie games that are still kind of household names in the hardcore market. Those are 2 games in the hardcore market that are smaller, but people know about. And nothing. I mean, nothing. And that's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Crap. When you said that, Xbox, they don't have to do what Sony or Nintendo does. I know. I agree with you on that. Well, Sony takes it completely overboard and shows you the same games like 4 years in a row. All right. Don't do that.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've showed so much of the same stuff that they literally have nothing to show now.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like,
But when it comes to Xbox's shows, no matter how great they are, if they stay within that window of 12 to 18 months, if you notice always after their shows, people are like, you know what? That show is great, but it's missing something. What is it missing? That's exactly what it's missing. Take one title or
one
so
announcement would have changed the game. I 100% say that. What I'm also saying is, and it's not wait till next year. We already know what we're getting next year. It's not a secret, folks. And if you're disappointed, then you're disappointed. But if Crackdown 3, Battletoads, if Gears, if those aren't your bag, then you're not going to be happy next year. They're not going to come out with anything announcement next year and the game release next year. It's not happening.
The whole news next year is going to be the rumors and the hints at the new hardware. That's where 2019 is going to be all over the place. Oh, did you see AMD said this and they're doing this and it's going to be they're going to reveal this. That's what it's going to be next year. And we're going to still play the games that, they said were coming. But that's what it's going to be around, man.
Yeah, I mean, look, next year, we're going to get a lot of information about the new consoles. It's just it is what it is, right? It just is what it is. I think that the new consoles are sold upon what games are shown, right? And I think that that's probably what they're waiting a little bit for. I also think this is just me. I think some of those PS4 games are going to be cross-gen PS5 games because Sony does not want to be stuck like they have been in the past with crappy lineups to launch their console with.
That's why they can show. Oh, my bad, crap. But that's why they showed what they showed at E3, and they're like, oh no, a PS4, because those are cross-gen games. And I feel like they're pushing the envelope there, and like Ghost of Tsushima and those other games are really PS5.
To be clear, I think they will 100% come out on PS4 as well. However they work it. But I think that they're going to really shine on PS5 as
exactly
just because you cannot launch a PS5 with NAC 3 and Spider-Man DLC or whatever. You know what I mean? Like it's not going to work because no, you can't. Like it's just not because you know why? You know why it's not going to work, guys? Is because Microsoft isn't going to shoot themselves in the foot out of the gate this time and give the media and all these gamers something to latch onto. Like, they're going to take our games. Oh my gosh, you know, they're trying to take. They're taking
TV.
Yeah, they're taking your like. There's not going to be any of that. So basically, what you're going to have is Microsoft pitching their most powerful console, Sony pitching theirs. There's the price point, which they'll probably be a little bit similar, but Microsoft might even do a couple different versions of theirs, so you might get it cheaper even if you don't care about 4K 60 or whatever. Or the X could be their entry one. I don't know how it's going to work, but they are saying multiple consoles. So then they're going to go, we're going to have Halo, we're going to have Forza, we're going to have this new Ninja Theory game, we're going to have Fable, we're going to have this game all at launch or whatever. And you can just get them all for Game Pass, you know, $10 up front. Like that's what they're thinking. And if you don't think Sony sees that and thinks, holy crap, we cannot afford to go out of the gate. If you're a company, like I get the fanboys, right? Sony can do whatever they want, and it's fine. But if you're a gamer, just an average gamer, and you go, well, Sony traditionally launches with crap software to start, and they want to charge you $60 a piece for the games. Microsoft is going to launch with 5-6 games, and they only want to charge you $9.99, and you can play all those games. Where do you think people are going to go? Like, people do not understand this, or they're afraid to admit that this is the case.
Well,
right?
Here's
people
the thing,
are going to jump on that Xbox.
I like your sales pitch. The thing is that now we got to take it from the grassroots and the podcasts, and you've actually got to advertise that on television. Because here's the problem. Even though they've reported millions are now with Game Pass, the issue I have with that is that's the same thing like when me and you had our debate with PSVR. Like, oh, come on, Mooch, we're up to 3 million now. That's not a big number. It's not.
Well, they knew that wasn't going to be a big number, though. You know, it was going to. They were trying to get
but Game Pass for Game Pass to be successful, 2 million's not big enough.
I think it could be 3. It could be 3. It could be 4.
But no, you're missing my point. They need 15, 20 million. And in order to do that, like, you know, you got to advertise it.
Well,
you can't
that's
right now, the only advertising for Game Pass is the back of Aaron Greenberg's sneaker.
Well, no, Inside Xbox is all about that. Plus, I got to say
who's
this.
Who's watching that? Us.
Well,
Did you see Inside Xbox has 270,000. Well, hear me out, though. Let me give you a number here that might make you agree, Salty. Right now, as it stands right now, 270,000 views are on the Xbox show for the Xbox channel on YouTube for the XO event. There's more views on iJustine getting a new case for her iPhone X,
and rightly so.
Come on,
exactly. It's because it's just a glorified, inside Xbox event. But I could tell you for a fact of how long I've been on YouTube. I've seen so many Game Pass ads. It's ridiculous. I've seen Taco Bell ads.
Who's watching them? Salt, the people that are watching our shows.
Well, I do want to say this though. I do see a lot of.
You can disagree all you want, but somebody that's looking up a vacuum cleaner right now that's getting a commercial is not going to see that Game Pass. But
if it's relevant, it's gaming. I don't just watch Xbox.
Listen, I got to say this as well. Twitch advertises Game Pass. Mixer advertises Game Pass. YouTube advertises Game Pass. These are some of the biggest mediums. I also get this when I watch Hulu. I've seen Game Pass ads. They are out there.
Right, so just compare 3 years ago. How many ads did you see for Xbox? 0, dude. There was nothing. It was a barren wasteland because they didn't have an emphasis on gaming. They didn't have a direction. Now they do. Like, Game Pass is Microsoft's baby. Don't get it twisted. The reason why they're acquiring these studios, which cost millions and millions of dollars, it's because of Game Pass. It's the focal point of the company. Yeah. And they will spend, which they have already. They're going to spend as much as it takes to be the leaders in the industry when it comes to subscription services. So when you talk about next gen's already a wrap, in my opinion, because Sony can't compete in this area. They won't be able to. Microsoft has the infrastructure. They got the jump on Sony. I don't care what games you're putting out on your platform. This service is going to destroy. I'm sorry. $10 a month, you get all these games that they're putting in here with all these studios, and you're getting them day one. People can't compete with that. I'm sorry.
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying at all, but I'm totally disagreeing with the fact that just because they're doing YouTube and grassroots, that's the way to go. I think that's
awful. It's not just YouTube. I've seen it at movies. I go to the movie. I've seen Game Pass ads. I've seen, Sea of Thieves was like the beginning of it because that was dropped in Game Pass.
Why not TV though? You hear everything you're saying? Why not TV?
I don't watch TV, so I can't tell you where that is. You know what I'm saying? But
you don't watch TV. A lot of people do.
I know,
I've
but
seen, I guarantee you've seen Taco Bell commercials. Dude,
I've seen some of that.
Yeah,
too.
but that's
limited,
and that's advertising the console, not Game Pass.
We have to keep in mind, first of all, that Sony is far ahead of Xbox One in sales right now. So of course, anything they do is going to have more numbers. So
Sony's
Xbox,
on TV almost every other commercial. It is absolutely unbelievable.
Just look at Game Pass, right? It's obviously a huge success for them already with millions of subscribers. Not only is it millions of subscribers, but Game Pass is causing people to actually buy more games from Microsoft. So it has this double effect for them.
I'm not saying that it's not helping their revenue and their numbers go up, but they need to do this exponentially.
Well, it's only been a little over a year that this has been a thing.
It's 2 years. And
no. It's been a little over a year.
Game Pass is 1 year.
Yeah,
that's right. I'm sorry. That's back to Pat. That's 2 years. My whole point, my point being is that it needs to grow faster than this. And if you guys go, well, wait, that's not true, and blah blah, stop being this, stop being. You're talking about a 2-to-1 deficit against your competitor. They do commercials, you don't. So everything you're saying to me, it doesn't hold water. They're doing commercials. Xbox isn't.
This sales thing is so annoying to hear, man. I mean, that's one part of the analytical piece of the whole fucking pie, man.
Well, let me tell you something. You're right, but
you could go into so many areas
slivers.
and say you could go into so many different areas and say that Microsoft is destroying Sony, and they don't even have games. Like, you look at the profit margins for major competitors when it comes to, you know,
these are not great examples. These are not great examples that I'm going to give you. But I have people that I know just that work with me, and they're like, I heard Red Dead's good. Is that good? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, is it only on Sony? People say that. And I'm like, what do you mean is it only on Sony? Well, it's on the PlayStation commercial. I don't know. And I'm like, no, you have an Xbox. You can go, oh, okay, cool. I'll go get it for Xbox. But like, you don't understand. And I'm not saying that's not a good
that metric is so backwards, dude. They don't even make that much money, if any, on hardware.
I understand, but you got to understand, if they don't have a salty or a crap or a mooch, and they go home and they don't have a console and they see the game they're interested in, they walk in and they go, give me the blue box. You don't understand. I'm not talking about the software. I'm talking about the hardware. And this is what I'm trying to say for years. Yeah, and how many of those blue
boxes stay on their entertainment center and collect dust and don't even have
that's them, but that could be on both sides. That's not fair. We're not going to go inside and do a Nielsen's rating and everybody's else. Excuse me, that box you bought 2 years ago, are you using it today?
Look at analytics for the major publishers, right?
Yeah.
You look at it and you go down the line, right? Microsoft's sitting like 4th, right? And we're talking about gaming revenue, 2017 specifically. Okay. In 2017, they didn't have shit. 2017 was jack. So if they could put out that kind of profit margin, and that's a term, because like sales are sales, profits are profits, right? So you look at those figures, they didn't have jack, and then they have all these studios. It's crazy, dude. Honestly, everybody in gaming is taking notice. I'm sorry. The big boy Microsoft nearing $1 trillion in company worth, if they want to make it a priority, they have the necessary resources to make it a priority.
Everything you're saying, I agree with. Nothing you just said was what we're really you kind of went off on a different subject. I agree with what you're saying there. But all I'm saying to you personally is between inside Xbox, okay, and doing one Taco Bell commercial a year is not enough to spread the word. He said when Phil was talking at E3, he's trying to reach 2 billion gamers. 2 billion. Okay, those folks are not watching M&C show. They're not watching our podcast. They're not watching XO event. You've got to be on national television. And if that's something that they don't get, that's a them problem.
Mooch. So what are you selling at this point for Game Pass, right? Why wouldn't you wait until you have some kind of a banger, quote unquote, coming out and you say, we're dropping this on Game Pass?
Forza Horizon 4 is
Forza Horizon 4 breaks records in the UK all the time. Okay.
So they did have advertisements for that, right?
They did. Not on Game Pass. But yes, they showed the game.
Say you can buy it now on Game Pass. Imagine when Halo Infinite drops. Get it now on Game Pass. Gears 5.
Why are you waiting 2 years?
No,
why wait 2 years when you have the service out right now? Yeah, but it doesn't make it. You're saying why don't they wait till Halo Infinite?
You're saying it's the end all be all when it comes to TV. How many people actually watch TV anymore, dude? I don't.
I'm pretty sure Verizon, Comcast, and Spectrum aren't tiny companies.
I mean, their profit margins are dropping significantly.
They're dropping. They're still up in the. I'd love to drop like that.
YouTube. Yeah, they're watching Amazon Prime.
They sure are.
without commercials.
Spectrum, Verizon, and Comcast's internet provider.
I'm sorry, man.
They're the internet provider. It doesn't matter. They're making money. Trust me. Cable's out there. It's very important. You can't play cable. You just can't.
Let me just say this: that we don't know what they're going to do in the future as far as advertising. Right now, many people have theorized that Microsoft has sort of given up on this. It's coming to a close, right? And they want to start over. And that could be when they make a move with full-on advertising and things like that. I have seen Game Pass ads on stuff. I've seen Forza Horizon 4 on TV. I've seen the Taco Bell commercial where the guy's teabagging. I think it's hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, I hope you get another week of it.
I do too. Come on, man.
Well, listen, I'm just telling you. I saw Spider-Man from July till yesterday. Then I saw God of War from before that. And now I'm seeing Red Dead Redemption all the way to the end of the year. And it's that's how you do it. They
spent how many millions of dollars making that game?
That's a them problem.
I do problem. Let me say this. I just saw the Fallout 76 Xbox commercial.
Oh,
I mean, I'm just saying, like Battlefield 5, that's Xbox.
Hey, speaking of TV, Microsoft has a partnership with the largest sports in America in the NFL, and I've seen Xbox ads when I'm watching TV.
Yes, I have seen Xbox to a certain. I have that's 16 weeks, which isn't bad. But I mean, to be honest with you, you're also talking about a certain demographic of folks. Okay, sports, and what do we yell all the time? Sports, because a lot of people that are in the gaming aren't in the sports.
Well, NFL is the #1 sport.
It doesn't. You're missing my point. That doesn't matter. That's a different group. Those people sit in a garage when it's January, freezing to death with no shirt and their team painted on their chest. Okay, that's that group of people.
Let's take a bet. Let's take a bet. Super Bowl. Will we see a Game Pass ad? I say
let's
yes.
hope so.
Okay.
Let's hope so. Probably not.
Hell of a good debate here, folks.
It is a great. I've been saying this for 3 years, and don't get me wrong. Salty's not the first one to come at me with this, and yet there's not many commercials. I've been saying it for a long time now. I'm not saying it just tonight. I've been saying it for years.
It's fine, man. It's just opinions, man. Hey, we got almost 600 watching. Hit the like button. Let's get over 200. We can do it. I know we can. Let's hit that like button. Appreciate it, Predator out there. Rallying the troops to hit that like button. Really do appreciate that.
Yo, crap.
Yeah, go ahead.
Damn, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Oh man!
Lay off the vaping.
Yes, it was gonna be.
Damn it! It was gonna be mind blowing. It was gonna be like, oh my goodness, drop the mic moment, and I forgot.
Speaking of Game Pass getting better, they added the ability to preload games. I think this is brilliant. Because look, let's be honest, especially with like Forza Horizon 4, right?
Yeah.
And these games are so big to install. Before, you would have to install after they unlock the day they release, right?
Right.
Now you're going to be able to preload these babies and be ready to go like people who bought them. I think that's brilliant, and more people are going to be attracted to this because
definitely a great move on their part, man. Because there are times like especially with Forza, I was like, all right, man, I want to start to. Oh man, I got to wait, and then
100 gigs.
And then like 2 days later, it's like, holy crap, it's now finally done. God, yeah. So
that's me in a nutshell. This is why I love the whole preload digital games thing. Because it takes me a long time, right? Like when I mooched, I pre-mooched Red Dead 2. And the way I did it was, and I know I tread lightly there, Mooch, where I'm like, hey man, I got bad internet. Is there any way you could give me a gift card so that I can pre-download it? And that worked out a couple times so far. Which by the way, gets me double the points because then it's a pre-order and plus, so it's double mooching, Mooch.
It is double mooching. I did.
You did.
This is very good.
So I was able to preload stuff like Red Dead 2, Battlefield 5. Well, Battlefield 5 I was able to preload because of EA Access, but I was able to actually mooch a copy of that as well. It just is really helpful to be able to preload
for the folks that are listening. So basically, what that is that if you have Game Pass, all right, you can have a Forza Horizon 4, which by the way, this really only pertains to the day and date items. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like the Vermintides, the Crackdown 3 is the next one.
Absolutely.
Doing.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, myself personally, I'll be game passing. I had a couple of people that are very cool mooch maniacs. They're like, I'm going to game gift you that. And I'm like, I'm going to sound like crap here. Send me the Xbox dollars. I'll put it towards something else. I'm going to play Crackdown for about 5 hours, and then I'll be like, all right, the building fell down.
Hey, you know what? It could surprise you, Mooch. I'm just saying.
Listen, there's a few people that are hardcore Crackdown fans in the chat. Yeah. If you enjoy it, I'm not going to ruin your time by no means. I'm just saying that I don't really see this thing holding my attention for more than about 5 hours.
Could be, man. Could be, but
Mooch is downplaying Crackdown, but he's hyping the shit out of Fallout 76. Like,
Wow. That might be, everybody document that might be the worst lead into another subject of all time.
Mooch is on the ropes, man. He's rope-a-doping tonight, man.
That's all right. I'm dodging these. These are easy dodges. I feel like Neo once he found out he had the power.
Hey, once Mooch started defending Fallout 76, lost all credibility.
Well, hold on. Here's the thing, right?
I like that game, man. I think it's gonna be fine.
Me and Mooch both successfully mooch. I didn't even want to mooch it, but somebody's like, "Here, I got this code. You can have it." And I was like, "All right." So I'm actually gonna play it.
It's Fallout 4 multiplayer. If you don't like Fallout. Yeah, everyone that says they don't like Fallout 76, be like, did you play Fallout? They're like, no, I don't like Fallout. Well, get the hell out of here. You and your
Here's the thing.
It's like Fallout without all the good parts of Fallout, dude.
I don't like Fallout. Here's the thing.
And everything. It's building. It's got everything Fallout 4 has, but you get to do it with your friends.
Yeah, here's the thing. I don't like
this. I don't want to do you dirty on the air, man.
Mooch.
So.
Hey, I don't like.
Hey, man,
I don't like
a lot of
Fallout.
people playing it. You don't have to like it.
I don't like Fallout, right? But I'm kind of interested to jump into Fallout 76 with my friends.
Yeah.
Because I think maybe with your friends, it might be a little bit better experience.
You can jump into the sandbox at your local fucking, play area and have fun with your friends too, but I'm not doing that.
Bethesda came out with a letter to people saying, yo, we don't know what the fuck this game is either, but go ahead. Play.
Hey, we got this game.
I want to try out Fallout 76, man. I want to play it, man.
I saw you trying to mooch it, Glitcher. I saw it. I saw you hashtag mooch.
I was trying to mooch it, so if somebody wants to toss me a code, hey.
Honestly, if someone gave me the game, I would have to give it back to them. Sorry, I don't accept trash.
Or give it to me.
All right.
Which is like, hey,
well, listen,
here, guy.
I think it's interesting. Some people are going to like it. Some people aren't. For me, just the multiplayer aspect is something that I think is kind of cool. Like being able to play with your friends or whatever, just in that kind of world. Sort of like the same reason I like Sea of Thieves.
Right.
Do I love Sea of Thieves? Do I think it's such a fantastic game? No. Like if you're playing that game by yourself, you're probably going to have the worst time ever. Right.
Yeah. Fallout 76 is Sea of Thieves with bugs and rips and tears and no NPCs that actually talk.
So I had this conversation with a bunch of Fallout fans, and you know what they said to me when I said that about Fallout 4 originally before I tried playing it? They were like, "Yeah, 16 million sold." You know what I mean? Within a week. My point being,
again.
Well, hey, I'm just saying.
Thank you, Salty.
That's what they say. So what I'm saying, but if you have 16 million people buying it, guess what? And you have a multiplayer game, you have an audience.
This ain't selling 16 million. Sorry to break your box.
Listen, if you go to Madison Square Garden, Salty, and you sell out, and all you do is sit on stage and smoke butts, guess what? It's good for you.
Not selling out, bro.
I'm just saying, you're getting all butts, cigarettes.
Oh, okay.
I'm thinking Andrew Dice Clay.
Oh yeah, I was like wondering what the hell you were talking about.
It's a Dice Clay thing. Listen, my whole thing is this.
Yeah, he's like, I
smoking butts. I'm not sold on Madison Square Garden. Listen, my whole thing is this. This is gonna have it has a huge fan base. It doesn't matter what you're seeing. The 18 people on Twitter being like, it looks like trash. Send. It's like, okay, all right. But like the thing about it is,
look at my YouTube video I made, dude.
Came out with a letter saying, like, yeah, guys, just do whatever you want with it. Like, we don't even know.
So that letter was from Bethesda.
Yes. Yeah,
the one that said it's shit and it's garbage. I think that was
I don't
know.
That was not real Xbox. Come on.
The one that was basically
you had Todd Howard come out and literally take a pint of his own blood and throw it all over the E3 floor and be like, I put my blood, sweat, and tears in this thing. And you think he's gonna put a letter out the day of launch that says it sucks ass. You're all this and that. Get out of here.
It doesn't say it sucks ass. It says like when we created this, it's pretty much. They did say that there's gonna be massive kind of like glitches and stuff like that.
They said that 2 months ago.
Yeah, they came out and said on launch day that it's going to be this bad.
But guess what? If you guys have any issues with the game right now, listen, this is why capitalism works, folks. You don't buy it. Don't buy it. I'll see you when it's 30 bucks.
Hey, I gotta stop. I got to stand up for the gaming community. Sorry. I can't accept when these big companies like Bethesda think that they can shit all over their fans and their gamers and think they're stupid, because we're not stupid. You're using an old engine. You cut time. You wanted to push this game out to make more money, and that's the reason why you're going to use the same old-ass engine for Starfield and for the next Elder Scrolls. It's unacceptable, plain and simple. It's trash.
Here's the deal.
We paid $30. We paid $30 for PUBG, and I spent
then
the first
talk
2 weeks
shit about it
frozen in one place.
Months, and that was a small indie developer, and we always said if you have the bigger developers, they're going to be way more polished, and this is going to happen. It's going to run so much smoother.
First of all, you guys right now are in total recall, because everything you're talking about was the beta back. Today, even if you don't believe me, ask Crap. Assassin is the biggest person, that's the biggest critic I've ever seen. He says it's playing very well, and it looks way better than the beta. And there's people enjoying the game today. There's a lot less. All I ever see right now, the people that are hating, they're like, well, look at last week. Look at yesterday. There's a patch today. Everything's a lot better, and it's supposed to get better every week. Now, again, I'm not telling you.
I've talked to people that said the exact opposite, that the frame rate was shit.
It's not. It's fine.
Sorry. I've talked to people that have played it. So,
well, there's people in the chat right now. Gadang has got about 15 hours into it today.
All right. So, Mooch, right? We know about businesses, right? They have to provide you value for a product, right? To improve.
I'm not telling people to buy it. I'm telling you that it's
show you why we're improving our product for you to continually buy it. Now, if your fans are dumb and they keep buying your stuff and they don't have to spend money on it, then they won't.
Well, I will say this.
Wait a minute, but Fallout 4 got better and better and better. There was a lot of issues in the beginning, and now people are saying it's one of the greatest games they've played. My point is this.
You have to admit that Bethesda has had a pass. Oh, it's Bethesda. It's buggy, right? State of Decay 2 came out with like half the problems and bugs that a Bethesda game has, and it got shit on. Okay? Bethesda always gets a pass.
Let me ask you guys this real quick, because I heard this today was that Bethesda's next gen games that they're working on are still going to use that same.
Oh my God.
So if that's the case, what I'm trying to say to you is that kind of debunks what you just said, Saul. If they're going to continue using that one, listen, Call of Duty's still using some shit. Okay.
No. And I call them out for that every single year.
They are using the same shit. What do you call it there? What is it there? The damn engine.
They've made massive changes to that engine.
Still looks the same to me.
No, when you play Blackout, right? Blackout, and you play Black Ops 4, you can't tell me that you can go back and play. Well, let's see, Modern Warfare 2 before it's remastered and say it looks the same. It doesn't.
Right? No, but I can tell you,
if I play Fallout 4, I can say Fallout 76 looks the fucking same.
Yeah, it's a 3-year difference, and guess what? Black Ops 4 looks just like Black Ops 3, and that was 3 years ago. It's the same thing, dude.
The excuse only holds water for a certain extent, and then it just falls through, because Bethesda's always been accepted to have bugs, and their engine's old. It's okay, but the longer it extends out, you go into next gen, you're coming out with a new Elder Scrolls, and it has some shit engine that's from that was on PS3. That's unacceptable, dude.
Well, like I say, I can see where you're saying that. I don't have a problem with them updating the engine. I always look forward to things like that, so I don't have an issue with that. But as far as the game itself, okay, we're in the same generation. People bought Fallout 4 by the droves. They loved it by the droves. Blah, blah, blah. It was critically acclaimed. And now all of a sudden you have the same engine, the same kind of like world, and now it's multiplayer, and people are shitting on it. And I'm like, wait a minute. And I'm not saying you. But you have to understand, Saul, okay? When we come on the shows, like you just said, you have to talk for the masses.
Yeah.
And the masses bought Fallout 4. They bought it.
I agree that. But how many years ago was that?
3.
Right? And then, okay. But you're like midway through the gen, right? You're closer to 360 days. Now we're getting graphics that we see on Red Dead 2. It's just not acceptable anymore to have this shit.
That's not. Hold on a minute. That was a 7-8 year development cycle. They totally planned this thing out using the better. They had the time and the money.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Origins, all these open world games, they shit on Fallout 76. Sorry.
Those are single player games, but yes, that's fine.
Okay, so what you're talking about is if we're trying to go into next generation and we accept this, like, hey, we're going to keep our old engine, we're going to tweak it, and it looks garbage, that's just unacceptable.
Well,
how is that next
this
gen,
conversation picks up a lot more steam on your side if we get in the next generation. Then I'm kind of with you. If all of a sudden we're 2 years into Scarlet and you're saying, now wait a minute, now you're going to release a game with an engine that's from the 360 right now. Now we've got a little fuel for the fire. My point is this argument was fantastic for Fallout 4. Now they're just taking Fallout 4, making an expansive world. It's 4 times the size of Fallout 4's map for multiplayer in the same world that people enjoyed 3 years ago, which was not the beginning, okay? It was 2015. It's 2 years into the gen. And now we're 2018, and we got this thing. I'm just trying to say this. And this is coming from someone that's not a Fallout nut. I'm not a Fallout nut. Yeah. I never played 3. I didn't play 2. I didn't play 1. I played what? 3.5, 4 hours of 4.
Yeah, and you're not. You don't even own it. You played it on Game Pass for.
Oh, the Game Pass you've been promoting. I saw it on YouTube. Crap.
I know.
I bought it.
Hey, I told me you should have bought it for. Hey, I never even played Fallout 4. I bought it for $10.
By the way, if anyone's listening to Crap, what I've learned out of this episode tonight is that if you're gonna mooch Crap a game, just give it to Mooch. He doesn't play them.
No.
So anyways,
listen. I do. I play the games that I mooch, but I don't play the games that I buy for cheap sometimes, like Fallout 4.
Right. Well, I'm gonna buy a Fallout 4 for $15. It is a good game.
Yeah, I heard people say that it's a fantastic
but don't get me
game.
wrong, I like Salt's points, but I think Salt literally has a DeLorean and he's just coming back from 2022, right? And I don't blame you, Salt. I'm with you. I like where you're coming from.
We gotta go back to the future.
He's saying, Mooch, what you're saying doesn't hold water because it's bullshit, and I kind of dig it. But the reason I'm okay with it is because 4 was such a phenomenon, and I feel bad that I didn't get wrapped in it. This is a chance to enjoy that world. Since everyone liked it anyways, I don't see how people are complaining about it now. That's the part I don't get.
So they said specifically that they plan on supporting Fallout 76 forever. Like, they don't want this game to end.
Right.
And you're coming into territories where you start off with a trash engine. A year goes by, 2 years go by, 3 years go by. And how bad will it look 3 years from now?
Let me ask you a question, and I don't know this, Salt. Salt, let me ask you, can they make a transition in the next 3 to 4 years, if they get enough backlash, to be able to take the game you're playing now and move you to a different engine, and keep your save. They can
update the engine and effects and stuff like that for sure.
Well, that's a big deal. That kind of adds to.
Through patches and stuff, but it's still the same engine.
Right, and that's my point.
No, Mooch has a point here, because what they can do with the cloud saves and everything like that, as long as they can, as long as the developer can leave what they call the user imprint on the game, they can have you completely download. It would inherently be a new game, but it would have your imprint on it, your achievements, your progression, and stuff like that. And they can literally put a game down with a brand new engine.
Yeah, but
like 3-4 years down the road.
They're not going to do that, though.
I'm just saying what he asked if that can happen.
Yeah.
That can happen, man.
So Bethesda, their plan right now is to keep Fallout 76 till the foreseeable future. They're not going to drop a new game. It's just not. So when you're on Scarlet and PS5 or whatever, and you're wanting some new Fallout game and they're still having Fallout 76 shoving it down your throat, then you remember this conversation and you're thinking, well, wow, I really would have wanted a Fallout 5 that looked better and it was on this next gen, but I'm playing this shit right now.
I like where Salt's thinking. I really do. But Sir X-Man said, listen, Salt, you have to understand something. I podcast with Crap. Okay, where Crap likes certain things and I don't, and I like certain things and he doesn't, and we go back and forth.
He likes Destiny 2.
Right, God forbid.
Gotta get that Thunder Lord.
Yeah. If Crap plays Destiny 2, he has to take a bath and just garlic and oil for a full day. Listen, my whole thing is this. Is gross. Right? That is gross. It's almost mayonnaise. But listen, hear me out. Sir X-Man says they tripped on Battlefield 4 after the beta also, but it turned out to be pretty good. Now, what Sir X-Man's saying there, and what Crap has said to me on various other games, where like the Division, okay, which he's like, oh, Mooch, take it easy on the Division. They get the largest population of all time since the time it came out now, and it's better now than it was then. So my point being is that with Fallout having the fan base that they have, and like Salt said, okay, having the allegiance that they've had where they get a pass, Bethesda gets a pass, They're not the only ones. Okay, so they get a pass. My thing is, as a consumer, Okay, if this is the world you like or you love, to get into the game now and know that they're going to, and Salt just said it himself, and Xbot were saying it, they're going to continue to make this thing grow. They're not going to stop, just like Elder Scrolls. They're going to make this thing keep growing. So to get in on it, they're going to make it better, and the game and the community is only going to evolve. Well, here's what I say to you. It's not the worst $60 you plunk down. Now, if you don't care for that, guess what? Hold off, and watch this thing be $30 by February, March. And that's fine. That's fine. I'm just saying to you, like, you don't have to. I'm not telling anybody they should go buy it. All I'm saying is that this is a world that I personally, I think a lot of you listening have been in my world. I really regret not getting into Fallout. I've said it on various shows. Yeah. This is the opportunity for me. And crap, you know this. I will drop. And if you don't believe it, ask Punkdish. Punkidish is in the chat. The reason I'm only on chapter 3 in Red Dead is the minute I'm 2 missions in, I'll get a message, a tweet, something on Xbox from Punk or a bunch of guys that are like, yo, we're playing Blackout. And guess what? Whoop! I dropped that Red Dead like a bad habit. You know? And
dude, I hear you, man, because I'll be playing
enjoy Fallout in the multiplayer space.
I agree, because when I'm playing Red Dead, Helen will be like, hey, let's hop on some Black Ops 4. And I'm like, cool. You know what I mean? I'm with you there, although I think I'm finally almost done with the game. I'm on at the end of chapter 6, which I got to say, fantastic game. Like, holy crap. Just did that.
I'd like to thank Xbot 448 for the Fallout 76 diversion segue. Now I'm sweating like a bastard. Damn.
that was a good segue.
Yeah, it was. It's good stuff. I'm very impressed with like, look, here's the thing. Like, I'm looking at, and I still people say Xbox has no games. I look at my pins. Yeah. And my pins just in the last 2 months is like, it's Tomb Raider. Yeah, it's Tomb Raider. It's Forza Horizon 4. It's Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which I started, and I haven't even finished the opening epilogue yet, because then it was Red Dead 2 and Blops 4 and Battlefield 5 I have installed. The Spyro collection I have installed. You know what I mean? These games, there's so many games. I don't even know. Like, it's like almost overwhelming at times. I beat Spider-Man. You know what I'm saying? It's like there's so much to do. And it is crazy. And
nobody has time to even finish all these games. Crap. I mean, listen. There's a few people on the panel that have it. Some don't. I know Salty said he's probably gonna go grab it on the big sale.
$199. Shoot, I might grab one and give it away.
I started playing the DLC for Spider-Man, and it's more of the same. So nothing to get excited about.
A lot of people said it felt like cut content.
It definitely feels like that. Yes, absolutely.
Like I have the DLC, right? But I have no desire to go back and play that.
I'm halfway through what is it? Is it the Black Cat? I can't remember what the girl's name is.
Cat one,
right. Yeah. So I'm halfway through that. And listen, it's definitely feels like cut content. I agree. So I'm not, again, nothing where I'm selling the item, but I'm saying there's certain things like that I'd like to go back to. Of course, I have 3 more chapters in Red Dead. Battlefield 5 comes out tomorrow. I'm definitely, shout out to Sir X-Man. Thank you very much for that. But I'll be honest with you. I'm going to give my undivided attention to Sir X-Man and play that game with him, yourself, Timodos, Foxy, anyone else who has it that wants to play. But my point being is that, like, there's so many games. So this whole narrative of, that's just an old, you know what I mean? That's like, it's a slogan that doesn't hold water anymore. Crap.
I agree. Hey, you know what? 600 watching, and we don't even have 250 likes. Let's see if we can't get 250 likes. Let's rack those likes up, folks. See what we can do. Now, let's talk about this, because I always say this, Mooch, and I'm always constantly saying this. Yeah. The best parts about these events isn't really the events. It's the interviews afterwards, right? Mm-hmm. And Phil Spencer, he's out there slinging it again, man, like a used car salesman, right? Like, but I love this guy, right? He's so, like, I wish he would. I know what you guys are thinking. A lot of people think, I wish he'd be this open about the games they're working on too. I get it, right? But he's very translucent when it comes to a lot of things hardware related, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I think we can all admit that. Wouldn't you agree?
Wait, which guy?
Phil Spencer, damn it.
Sorry. I'm right into the audience. My fault.
Okay, so Phil Spencer reiterated once again that Xbox will always go after the power crown in the console space. And he's very excited about the next act, because we get all this stuff. Like, people still, even though he said they're working on multiple consoles, still believe that the next Xbox is just going to be that one streaming thing, right? They don't get it. Even though he said it multiple times now that they're working on a powerful next Xbox already, right?
Right.
So he said they're very excited about the next Xbox. "Quote unquote, consoles are here to stay." "Quote unquote, consoles are here to stay."
Yes.
That Microsoft will always push for the power crown, right? This is Phil Spencer's words, right? When he talks about streaming, he says streaming might never be more than just an option because it might never be the best way to play a game, right? I mean, you can't get any more honest than that. The guy was honest right from the beginning.
I love his use of the word "might" in many of those things.
Yeah, he says might not ever be an option. You know what I mean? Because of the input lag. Look, here's the thing. A lot of people complain about the controls, the sluggishness in Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm right there with you, right? It feels like freaking forever.
I don't think the controls are bad.
Well, here's the thing, right? There's input lag in the game. They tested it's like 13 milliseconds. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. That's 13 milliseconds from when you push something to when it's actually doing something. He's even said that, there's a lot of work to be done in this space. They're giving you options, right? I think they really are. Just he realizes he's like the best way to play games right now, is obviously, and for the foreseeable future, and maybe forever, is going to be to download a game and play it. But we can maybe offer demos of games through streaming or something like give people a taste of these. And I think that, and
he's talking about the near future. Like when you look like further down the road, I mean, it gets like broader. The view definitely gets broader. But when he was talking about the hardware, what I really liked about what he said is what he talked about with the CPU and the GPU. He's like, there has been a huge gap this generation in terms of power between the CPU and the GPU. So he's saying with the next Xbox, they're taking that issue and resolving it. So we're going to see a beefy ass CPU in Scarlet. And that's amazing right there, man.
Yeah, I agree. But I just thought it was funny because a lot of people assumed wrongly that Microsoft wasn't going to be doing that kind of stuff, right? A lot of people said that Xbox wasn't going to be worried about that kind of stuff. They weren't going to go out. This really upsets people, the fact that he's like, hey, we realize we need to have the most powerful console. And I think they're going to do multiple ones. I think they're going to do one.
When you say multiple crap, I think you're talking, there's going to be the Powerhouse Scarlet, and then there's going to be the Stream Box, the cloud.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
And when you say there's a lower tier, I've said this to you 100 times. Yeah, and I know I think you're picking up what I'm putting down. The Xbox One X is the lower tier because the Xbox One X, folks, is doing 4K 30 right now. All right, 4K 60 in certain small categories. Okay, so what is it if the Scarlet's 4K 60 locked, which we also know from the Don won't be depending on the developer, but it has the potential to do that. The Xbox One X is, by default, the cheaper console. And because they've had this out for so long at this point, they're going to be able to outsell their competitor and get this thing really cheap. And that's a victory. Because now they've got two 4K machines. One's going to be dirt cheap. One's going to be expensive. And Sony's only going to have expensive. So that's my whole thing. Or even if they come up with one that's a little bit lower, it's still something new to them. It's going to cost them off the shelf probably a little bit more. So that's Microsoft's advantage on the hardware. Personally, my thought. The software we kind of covered in the beginning of the show. They got the Game Pass. You can see that they're ramping their studios to be a full launch by 2020, 2021. So they're going to start like they do every console generation, start strong. So I think Microsoft is very much poised to be a success come next generation. The question is really, the question that we don't talk about enough is Microsoft and Sony, or one of them only, going to be forward and backward compatible?
Dude, that is the big question.
That's the question.
When it comes,
next part, and I know you have a great point on this. I want to hand the mic to you, but this is how you find out whether or not this generation just bleeds into the next, or if we have a stopgap and we start. If we have a stopgap and we start over, still could work in Microsoft's favor. Probably a little bit more, but if we have a backward and forward thing where only one company does it, that company takes a true baton lead and runs off into the sunset. Go ahead, Xbox.
Well, didn't Microsoft say they were going to do that? There's the next.
I don't think they've said forward and backward next generation, but I could be wrong.
Everything's backward.
Everything's backward.
Forward is a little bit of a problem.
Well, if they're ending generations and they're basically stating that even the newer games that come out when Scarlet comes out will be playable at least on the X, right? So that is forwards compatibility. And with that right there, because I know Crap Mooch, Salty, Attack, like we know that the software is where the money comes from. Then the money goes to developing more games and everything like that. So if they have forwards compatibility, the people who have an Xbox One X who can't jump to Scarlet are still going to be able to grab the games.
I think Microsoft is going forward and backward. I do.
But the question will be on Sony's side, because, we saw Ghost of Tsushima, we saw The Last of Us 2, and they're like, oh, no, that's played on the PS4 or whatever. But if they're going forwards compatible, which they do have a patent for a way to go forwards compatible as well, and they put it in like months ago. If they do go forward with that, then they weren't lying at E3. Yeah, playing on the PS4, but when it goes on the PS5 is when you're going to see like the craziness in terms of the graphics.
Now, here's the funny part, because Sony has patented things called emulation, enhanced by emulation or something like that, right? Meaning that they're going to be doing something similar to what Microsoft does with their backwards compatible stuff. I think Sony's going to be looking forward to doing something like that with the PS5. And I think that they're going to do backwards compatibility with the PS4 at least. Right, Xbox, that's going to do backwards compatibility with everything, right? Like everything they can, it's just gonna happen. Forward compatibility, a little bit of a different thing there. I think it really kind of depends, because the X came out just recently and it can do 4K. So if it can play some of the newer stuff, I don't see why they wouldn't. I do think that they would have to cut off some of the other stuff. Just my opinion. After a certain point, because developers have said that some have said, I wish that Don was here. Some have said, hey, it would hold us back a bit if we had to do it for the original Xbox One as well, right? But then again, we see some developers take full advantage of the X no matter what. So it's going to be really hard to see how that is going forward.
Crap, the question with that one, in terms of like cutting off like the Fat Boy Xbox One or the Xbox One S, is whether or not developers are really going to get into cloud computing, because cloud computing can be a buffer in between like the more powerful systems compared to the lower end systems, in terms of taking certain processes off of the hardware, like the Skybox and everything like that, and letting the hardware run on stuff like it really needs to. But at the end of the day, we are going to look at it kind of like what Apple and Samsung does with their phones. Like they'll keep up upgrading and updating the operating system, but at a certain point in time, like the older phones, they can't run apps anymore, and they're just kind of discontinued and left to the side. That's exactly what we're going to see here in terms of Xbox, like moving into the future.
Yeah, I mean, or like I've seen some people go, oh, as soon as they announce a new Apple iPhone, the old ones start slowing down. You know what I mean? Like
it's happened, sir. That's why I officially have the Galaxy, by the way.
Yeah, I mean,
that one slows down after a month. But go ahead.
Yeah, he loves his damn his Apple, man. I tell you what,
we miss you, Steve. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, we do.
We do. We do.
What was that? The turtleneck and the and stuff like. But hey, they are being quite transparent with the hardware, right? I mean, that's good. Like a lot of people faulted them for saying, "Hey, we're coming out with the S this year and then a more powerful console next year." But basically, imagine the hate he would have gotten if they didn't announce the X when they announced the S, right? Like people would have bought the S and then been pissed off because they could have just waited a year. Some people did wait that year. I bought both because I'm a sucker.
I waited. I got my Project Scorpio.
You know why I didn't wait? Xbot was because they were doing HDR and the 4K Blu-ray player, and I had already upgraded my TVs and everything. So I kind of wanted to get that upscale kind of looked. So that's why I kind of
I'm still on a standard HD. But if you remember, like when they came out with the S, I had the Elite Xbox One with kind of like the hybrid drive,
with the solid state drive or whatever it was.
So I didn't really like that. The S didn't really do too much for me. You know, standard HD television. I already had the hybrid drive and everything like that. So I was waiting for the X, man.
Hey guys, good news. Dante's Inferno and Race to the Sun are now free with Games with Gold.
Right now? We can get Dante? Right now?
Yeah, right now. Games with Gold.
Holy shit. Hold on. I'm downloading that shit.
I actually am going to download it
right
too because well, not
I
right
already
now.
downloaded it.
I'm downloading it right now. I can multitask, okay?
That would lag my stream up tremendously, people. Just letting you know. Yeah. So anyway, you know, I'm looking forward to that. I'm looking like the games are great. I'm gonna keep upgrading my hardware. You know, I'm looking forward to it. I think that's gonna be cool.
Right.
You know, like Salty. What are your thoughts, man? Are you excited about future hardware? Do you hate hearing about future hardware? Like, what are your thoughts?
I think that it's going to be a hard sell. I've said this before.
It needs something, right?
Yeah, there's just something that needs to happen to sell it to the masses. Honestly, like this bump up to, you know, most of the titles being 4K 60. I don't think a majority of the consumers are going to give a shit, really. I think that like the frame rate situation is kind of a hard sell for that. As far as the cloud situation goes, I think that that's a pretty good sell for people because they'll able to play it on their phone or this and that. But that's still hard to sell that to mass audiences, especially with the infrastructure for internet in the United States, especially because it's kind of shit right now. So I don't know, man. I'll have to wait and see, I guess, with this next generation. But as far as forward and backwards compatibility goes, I think that will exist on Xbox, but not on PlayStation. I think they'll have backwards compatibility, but not forwards. So
yeah, I kind of agree with you there. Glitcher, what do you think, man? Are you into all this kind of stuff, man? Like the tech and all this kind of things,
yeah,
you know?
I'm definitely into this. The one thing that I'm really interested is into the cloud right now. I want to see how that's going to work out with all like
the power of the cloud.
Yeah, like I'm interested in that. I want to see how that's going to work out. And I do agree with Salty. Microsoft is probably going to be the only one that's going to have the forward and back compat. Sony's going to kind of
they're definitely in the lead for that, Glitcher.
I think Sony's going to screw the pooch on it, and you know the Sony fans are going to bitch about it. So
well, Glitcher, who would play this? Old games. They look horrible. Who would play these, right?
Oh, I mean, yeah. Who plays old games?
By the way, buy this PlayStation Classic, $99.99 right now.
Oh,
well, dude, not only that, but PlayStation Now. People are talking about how many people are subscribed to that. That's the only way they can play their old games. Like that's
hold on.
That's
I want to say something. Sony never misses out on a chance to brag about numbers. They aren't like, here's the super data, right? Like people that are running with this super data stuff. That's as bad as VG charts. They don't have official numbers. They're guesstimations. They make analysis. That's what they do. They were already proven wrong because their estimation on Xbox would have put Game Pass at a couple 100,000 people. And Phil's already said millions of people. That's a big disparity. You know, it's like voting in Florida. You know, you vote for one thing, and then next thing you know, they're counting by hand, and now all of a sudden, you know, 100 million more votes show up just out of this blue truck, and the people, you know, it's crazy. So I never believe this kind of stuff when people talk about numbers and things like that. You know, it's unfortunate that people run with.
Well, there are people subscribed to PlayStation Now, so whatever number of people are subscribed to that,
few.
But they're doing it for old games. Let's be honest. They're not doing it for like the 4 PS4 games that are in there. They're doing it for the old games. And I mean,
because you can't play them anywhere else, right? You
exactly.
You can't like
you can't just take a disc and pop it into the PS4.
Here's the thing. I would love there to be able to just pop a PS3 disc into the PS4 and be able to play it. Right. And I know people would be like, oh, that's crazy. I don't mind some of these older games, you know, like I play 360 still. You know, like to me, a good game's a good game. Like I went back and played Modern Warfare 2 when that went backwards compatible, but it looks so bad that, you know, you had to stop playing the multiplayer because everything looks super fuzzy.
The last couple of days I've been playing Castlevania Lords of Shadow. I'm downloading Dante's Inferno right now.
Here's the thing. I have Lords of Shadow 1 and 2. I never played them because they came out right around the end.
Yeah, the first one is amazing, dude.
Yeah, the first one's really good. Don't worry about the second one. I mean, yeah, just
well, I mean, So, but anyway, speaking of the PlayStation Classic, this thing's getting a lot of crap now. Apparently, it's just some cheap emulator, and people are actually going out there and saying, "Hey, we're canceling pre-orders," and it's not me for a change, right?
The thing is so stupid. It's garbage, man. There's no updates. They're not going to put anything else. The thing is bullshit. It's stupid. And for $100, I'm going to stop.
Here's the problem that I have, because Eurogamer tested it and they're like, this thing is pretty bad. Like, you know what I mean? And then so you have people, I don't know if you guys watch this guy, Metal Jesus. He does a lot of like old school stuff, and he's a pretty cool guy. And he's like, I canceled my pre-order. He did a video about it because it's trash, you know? I tried to tell people, it seemed rushed, you know, like people want nostalgia, and Mooch, it's a hell of a drug. It is. Nostalgia, realistically, like that could be a hell of an asset, and Sony relies on that a lot. But this thing just has garbage written all over it, like Metal Gear Solid. You got all these games like that are okay, but you have to remember that PS1 games look like trash. You know, and it's like, I know a lot of people like Nintendo, and Nintendo 64 Mini will probably come out this year, but those games look like trash too.
Like here's the thing that really bothers me about it now. Tomb Raider started off on PlayStation. Why isn't it on there? You know, why wouldn't they put a Tomb Raider game?
Probably licensing issues.
It's still dog shit.
Yeah, I mean, it is like probably like Crash Bandicoot, shouldn't that have been on there as well, right? I mean, that, for me, when I think PlayStation, the games that I played on PlayStation were Tomb Raider, Crash Bandicoot. I remember playing that 989 football. You know, Siphon Filter, Metal Gear. You know, Silent Hill.
They didn't hit their classics. The reason they didn't, we don't know. But see, Nintendo did it right with their SNES Mini and their NES Mini.
They had so many first party stuff that people like, you know what I mean, and just classics. You know, like those are great. And you know, to be fair, like you, Mooch, I played them for a little bit, and then you know those kind of go past the wayside or whatever. You know what I mean?
The draw of the original PlayStation, and I might get attacked here for this, but yeah, there were games that were memorable and everything like that, but the draw of the original PlayStation was like, oh my goodness, 3D worlds and stuff like that, like taking that to the next level. That was the main draw, and that's what really got people into getting a PlayStation, is because all these like different games, they had this like new kind of real 3D looking like feel to them. And that was really, you know, that the 64 and that were really the beginning of that generation. So yeah, they don't look good. They don't hold up well, where when you have like the Super Nintendo classic, that was like the golden age of the 2D like gaming genre, the console and stuff like that. They hold up great to this day. They are playable, they are enjoyable. You're not looking at it thinking, man, yeah, this game is so freaking old. You know, where you do that with the PlayStation 1 and even the 64. I wouldn't be a fan of a mini 64, man.
Yeah, like I said, I wouldn't be a fan of that either. And the main reason why I wouldn't be is because those games don't hold up as well as some of the other. Like, look, the NES and the Super Nintendo, you know why those games hold up is because we're still playing games that look like that, because everybody's making the same damn like 16-bit style games. In fact, one of them is up for a Game of the Year award, Celeste or whatever. I saw that and I'm like, what the hell is Celeste?
That was funny.
You know?
You're like, Mooch, what the hell is Celeste? And I'm like, I think it's an indie game that did very well, but I'm unsure.
I never even heard of it. That's the thing, right? I never even heard of it. And then Monster Hunter, while I'm sure it's a fun game and I have played it, like, how is that up for Game of the Year? You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that.
And don't get me wrong. I understand Crap. I don't know if you did try it or you didn't play it. I mean, I got about 55, 60 hours in that. That game was a lot of fun. Also, it came out at the right time. You know, timing's everything in life. I don't care, you know, whether it's a lotto ticket or a game that comes out. Timing's everything. And, you know, that game came out when we were in a bit of a lull this year, and it hit Xbox gamers by storm. It did very well financially, and to be honest with you, that's another game that I just wish there was more time to play. It is a lot of fun to play with friends.
It's a grind, though. It is,
but you don't feel the grind the way you do with like a Destiny or something like that. It's not that kind of a grind, because you can enjoy the game at your own pace. Crap, really. I mean, it doesn't mean you can go and compete with the stronger monsters later on, but you can still enjoy the game, and a lot of people don't mind to come back and whoop on some of the big monsters that are easy now, but difficult for a beginner. You know what I mean? It was a fair playing system, I thought.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. This is something that Mooch, you and Xbox will probably have a strong opinion on.
Let's go.
So Activision threw Bungie under the bus, right? They were just like, it underperformed. It sucks.
Really did.
You guys are garbage. You know what I mean? We got to change it up, do this, do that. Bungie actually fought back. They're like, hey, we're proud of what we did. It's fine. We love it.
Yep.
Like Mooch, like Xbox, you guys that play Destiny, like I'm not the best person for this because I don't really care about Destiny, but do you think it's bad business for Activision? I think even from a business standpoint, even though I don't like the game, totally disrespectful. Like remember when Titanfall 2 underperformed and what was it? EA was like, yeah, it's still in our plans. And then what's his name? The guy with the hat, I'm talking about, Mooch, with the PS4 bus shirt on.
Damon Hatfield.
No, the guy that works for the Titanfall developer, the owner of that.
Vince Impella.
Yeah, Vince Impella. He's like, yeah, so apparently Titanfall's still in their plans, whatever that means, you know what I mean? Because they basically threw it under the bus, right? Yeah. So this is sort of like the same situation where they're just like, yeah, it underperformed. We're gonna have to start doing something different. Like
I gotta say, see what is going on here is there has been leaks about Destiny 3, right? I'm gonna go out and I'm gonna make a prediction on what is happening. With Destiny 3, they're talking about they are going in like hardcore on the like grind element and the RPG element, and make Destiny the game that they wanted to. Now, quote that, the game that Bungie wanted to make. So in other words, when Destiny 2 came out, I'm saying that Activision had their fingers in there with vanilla Destiny 2 and kind of took that grind out. They wanted more casual gamers. They wanted bigger numbers in Destiny 1. They're like, this is going to attract millions of people and everything like that. And then over time, like Destiny 2, people were like, oh, this isn't the same thing. And people started leaving the game. And instead of Activision taking it upon themselves, being like, yeah, well, we kind of stuck our fingers in what Bungie was doing, our bad. They're like, no, it's Bungie's fucking fault. They did this shit. And that's exactly what's going on, man.
Well, that's why it's kind of horseshit too. Is Spawnwave, who's he's got his own YouTube channel and he's on Twitter. And I retweeted one of the things he said, and he liked it. He's like, "Yo, nice, Booch." I'll be honest with you. He said, "I'm confused by Activision's statement," and it was because the article came out and said Destiny 2 breaks monthly records for digital downloads in September with the Forsaken. And then a month later, they're like, yeah, they let us down. Sales weren't that great. Yeah. It was the tale of two stories. So, I mean, myself personally, I've heard from plenty of people, everyone I know that even flirted with Destiny, bought the Forsaken. So myself included. The game's fantastic.
Hell yeah. Forsaken is amazing.
It's an amazing addition to the game. And, like I said, there's so many games right now that I haven't gone back to it yet. But I mean, I'm over 500 now, but you got to get to 600 and there's a grind there. But I mean, there's all of December and January to get back up to snuff. So, I mean, I think realistically, Crop, it's what you and Xbox said. I don't need to beat a dead horse here. Is that Activision threw them under the bus?
When they started leaking out, like, and they started talking about Destiny 3 a little bit, when they said, yeah, we're gonna make the game that we wanted to make. Did you hear that and be like, yo, like that's a cheap shot against their publisher? Maybe
it is. It's like Crap. So that's the same thing Vince Impella basically did. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They took a jab back at him.
Yeah, like that's just bad business. Because look, here's the thing: the industry needs to succeed. I'm all for games succeeding like that. Even though Destiny's not my thing, I think a game that draws people in and has people playing for hundreds of hours is great. It's great for the industry. It's good for these companies. You know what I'm saying? Right. So to have that public and Activision are already kind of on my shit list because they're the ones that do the least amount of work on like their remasters, and they basically sell you a port that could be backwards compatible. And they're the only ones still selling DLC like map packs and shit.
Yo, I gotta shout out Noximus in the chat. Yo, he's saying Bungie is basically just as guilty. Brother, don't be saying that because me and you are gonna go into that game tomorrow and get our Thunder Lords, man. We got to do that. Tomorrow's the day.
I don't know what Thunder Lords are, but I mean, I'm sure you guys are gonna definitely have a good time with that. I don't know. It's like Destiny is not. It's not my bag, baby. Definitely. So yeah, 100%. So we can also talk a little bit about PUBG. It's going to PlayStation 4 December 7th. Here's the thing. I don't care. We kind of knew this, like it was leaked and stuff like this. Here's the thing that Xbox fans are kind of upset about. The guy, Player Unknown or whatever, tweets out, "We can't wait to be on PS4. We've been fans since Wipeout on the PS1."
Yeah.
Right? Not only that, but they also get these Uncharted skins, Last of Us skins. What did we get? We got like a jacket.
Dude, I was saying that, yo.
We get a jacket. Like we've been playing this game when it was like 12 frames per second, basically fixing it, beta testing it, and we get a stupid jacket that makes you stick out like crazy, and a parachute,
all white jumpsuit as well. That all white and green. So you really stick out. Like there's no snow level or anything like that where you would blend in wearing all white.
Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the thing. First of all, going to PlayStations, it never was. It doesn't matter. We knew it was coming. We talked about it 6 months ago. The other thing about it is that with Blackout and the never-ending train of Fortnite continuing to excel, it's just PUBG is for me personally. I just can't see turning on PUBG when I have Blackout. Like it's a no-brainer.
I took Black Ops 4. I actually uninstalled it, and I was just playing PUBG before we got on the show.
I still like PUBG. I just think that the gun mechanics are bad in it, right? I like the tacticalness of it. I don't think it's going to do very well on PS4. I think that it was right there when Microsoft needed it to be at a time when they needed it, when it was huge, right? So remember, at the time that launched, PUBG was still bigger than Fortnite.
Not Fortnite, pardon me. PUBG was Microsoft got every single penny that they wanted out of it.
Yeah,
they got the users out of it. They got the gamers out of it. They sold Xbox Ones with it because it was a big deal. It was big. The whole new battle royale thing. The minute that Fortnite took off, PUBG started to die a slow death, and now it's a speedy death.
It'll always have people on it, but just not the millions of people.
But you know what though? But here's the thing: it's a shame for it to go from the top.
Ain't that a shame?
To the third or fourth best, battle royale game.
Mooch, you're a businessman. You might appreciate this. I got to give a shout out to Xbox because what they did with PUBG before the PS4 with putting it in Game Pass. Correct me if I'm wrong, Mooch. Now, moving forward, if anybody wants to talk about numbers when it comes to PUBG or whatnot, it's in Game Pass. Yeah, like Xbox will always have the numbers. If they want to market it again, this is the place to play PUBG or whatnot. If there's like a renaissance or a rejuvenation, it'll be like, look how many active players are on right now.
One of the three big battle royale games and the Pioneer game is in Xbox Game Pass. That is a big deal. That's something you toot your horn about, and that'll get people to play.
1766 says, if the frame rate's better on PS4, it's an insult to Xbox One players. Hey, you're not wrong. We put up with 12 frames per second for a long time.
Yeah.
Right? Like we did. Now, I guess the newer update is going to give us graphical options, which should have been there from the first place. I would have much rather played that game at 60 frames at 720p if it had to be.
Yeah, 1080p, 720p. Who cares? I mean, there's nothing.
We're going to take out all the foliage. We're going to be hiding in bushes that aren't there.
Well, there's nothing great to see in the game. Wow, nice mountain, nice molehill.
Yeah, nice PS2 molehill there, but hey, let's put that molehill in 4K, right?
Yeah.
It's 4K or nothing. Go ahead.
Honestly, you guys have to look no further than the trailer announcement for PUBG for PlayStation 4.
I saw the comments. Jeez.
Unreal. Like no one cares about this game on PlayStation. That's the exact reason why Bluehole decided to make a deal with Microsoft to put it into Game Pass. I mean, at least they'll get some money there because if you're a PlayStation gamer, you have this thought process, well, I could pay for PUBG and it's in Game Pass now and people are getting it for free on Xbox, or I could play Fortnite, which is free, or I could play Call of Duty Blackout, which I probably already own because it's sold gangbusters, especially on PlayStation. It's just, there's no interest there. And a lot of people in the comment section are just saying, if this isn't free to play, I'm not wasting my time. So.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, like, hopefully, maybe I don't want it to do poorly. I just don't think that it's going to find a big audience.
Right.
Like, those skins are cool, if I'm honest. Right. Like, those are way cooler than any of the stuff we got.
Dude, why can't we get a skin from what's the chick's name from Gears?
Which there's a
Cat.
few different ones. There
the
Kate.
story, Kate, because the story is revolving around her in like Gears 5 or whatever. You can't really have like the guys from Gears because they're all like top heavy and all that good stuff. It just doesn't fit the model. But like, Kate from Gears would have been a great skin.
Why
but
not Master
we
Chief?
got fucking Harley Quinn and Joe get.
Don't worry, Xbot. You got a parachute skin or some shit.
Yeah, we got a parachute with an Xbox logo and a white jumpsuit that like crack jumpsuit or whatever. Yeah,
no, there wasn't an Xbox logo. I thought it was just a jacket with a number 5 on it.
Yeah, for $5 million.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, great. That's amazing.
It was even shittier.
Yes, absolutely. Great stuff right there. That's
great negotiating, Xbox.
It is. Like,
hey, what do you say we put a green Xbox symbol on the back of a jacket? How about we put a 5?
Brilliant.
So
so anyway, there is this. Obviously, we are in November. Black Friday's coming up. Lots of deals. You're going to be able to pick
deals.
Yeah, you're going to be able to pick up an Xbox One X for $400, which is the same price as the PS4 Pro. You can get an S bundle for $199. You can get that Spider-Man PS4 bundle for $199. They just announced or just came out the deals for the digital deals that Microsoft has basically every damn game.
This is the first year I could say, honestly, guys, if you've been waiting and you haven't bought games, wow, you're in for a treat. Unbelievably cheap games, crap.
Yes. I mean, like, honestly, the Return to Arkham. Hey, the Return to Arkham, which has been enhanced, is $5.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
$5. You can't beat that.
$5. Arkham Knight Premium Edition, $10.
So we're talking about the Xbox sale. Is this a digital?
This
sale?
is the Xbox digital sale, my friend.
Okay.
The ones that hit my eye, crap, and you'll like this. Will be music. I got the Batman Arkham Knight Premium is $10, as you just said. Mafia 3 Deluxe is $15,
which has the DLC, which is amazing. That game is one of the best stories with the best soundtrack you'll ever play.
And then the Fallout 4 is $15. I believe the deluxe edition for that one is still $25, but I would do the $15
Yeah,
one.
like if you ever wanted to try Doom, it's $15. If you wanted to get Dead Cells, it's on sale. That's new. You could get like the Final Fantasy games are on sale. Fallout 4 is $15. Or you get the Game of the Year edition with all the DLC for $24. Far Cry 5 is half off. It's $30.
Yep.
Forza Horizon is 35% off. It's like $38. Gears of War 4, $10. I mean, come on, man. Gears of War 4 for $10. I mean,
or Game Pass.
And it's one of the best looking. Not only is it a good game, but it's one of the best looking games on the system as well. Gears, that's the deal.
Injustice 2, $12. So that's a really good fighting game. I know you don't like those games, Mooch, but that a game that I might jump on, Kingdom Come Deliverance is on sale. Half off. They got all those Lego games are on sale. I actually like those games. They're pretty decent.
I'm so tired of Lego. I am so tired of Lego.
You're not a big Lego fan, man?
When they first started coming out with them, I remember me and my son, like back in the day, with like Lego Indiana Jones. We went through those couple and everything like that. But damn, they're just like taking any license and throwing Lego on it, like lately, like all the way through. Yeah.
Hey, you guys, if you missed Mass Effect Andromeda, good game. Don't buy into the hype that it's bad. It's $10. It's like $9.90, and it's enhanced. Like there is so much stuff that like literally almost every game has some kind of deal on it. Nier is $33. There's wow, like just an amazing, like literally every deal. Quantum Break, $10. If you haven't played Quantum Break, holy cow, you'll definitely want to give this game a try. You can get
that has to be one of the most underrated games this generation, to be really honest with you, man.
Exactly. Hey, this is the last Tomb Raider, but the Rise of the Tomb Raider 20-year celebration, which is the one with all the DLC, is $12. Right? Hey, Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered Edition, $12. That is a fun game. Yeah. You can get Rise Legendary Edition for $7.50. You can get Sonic Forces for $20. Star Wars Battlefront 2 for $9.90. Saints Row 4 Re-Elected Edition, which is a hilarious game. Love it, $5. Everybody's favorite Scream Ride, $7.50. I'm telling you, like, these deals are insane. Exactly, right? State of Decay 2, $20. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Oh, Sunset Overdrive, $12.99. If you haven't played that game, pick it up, man. It's
Yeah.
absolutely phenomenal.
To be really honest with you, Oh Snaps streamed it a couple days ago. The kids are playing it now. The younger kids, we got kind of like the mature, like the censorship going on in terms of the language or whatnot.
Yeah.
Yo, Sunset Overdrive is being played on like 2 to 3 Xbox Ones in my house right now.
Love that game.
Daily basis, dude. That game is great.
Yeah, I love that game. Sir X-Man says, is No Man's Sky on sale? You know it is, Sir X-Man.
It is.
You know it is. It actually is.
It really is.
I'll tell you what it is too. No Man's Sky is $39.99, so it's 20% off. But I gotta tell you, after playing that game, it is worth it. They've added so much stuff to it. You can
really
actually play with your friends. We played it with that Boogie guy, Mooch.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. Yeah, just they did a fantastic job with it. Look, I own a lot of this stuff, but I'm even gonna pick stuff up here. You know what I mean? Because
I'm buying the 3 that I said. I mean, literally. So you're talking about 15 for $40. I'm getting 3 AAA games. That's crazy, and they're the deluxe edition with DLC.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and here's the best thing, right? Like, what I like most about this is you buy this stuff and you're gonna always be able to take it with you. And some of this stuff is already enhanced, so it's gonna even get better in time for the next generation stuff. And there's also all kinds of deals going to be like at Walmart and all these other places for actual Xbox consoles. If you're a physical buyer, you're going to be able to get deals on this stuff. Hey, this new Assassin's Creed, which is really good. That's even 33% off. So you'll be able to pick it up for $40. Black Ops 4, that's going to be some off as well. There's a lot of great deals going on right now. Crash Bandicoot Collection, $25. They're really going all out with these deals like they do every year. And so I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. I know it's going to be hard on your wallets, but yeah. And we all on this place definitely take gift cards and things like that. Cause we're like that, man. We do that. So
absolutely.
Yeah, I really appreciate everybody, being here, sticking us out, just hearing our opinions.
We're already done.
We are.
We are.
So we are. Yeah. So please hit that like button, man. I would love to get what do we got? 250. I'd love to get to 300 likes, man. We've still got over 530 watching. Can we get to 300 likes? That's all I want, man. That's all I want. That's really all I want. Damn you, Mooch. You sent me a GIF anyway.
Absolutely.
So anyway, Mooch, we're going to go ahead and do some outros, man. What do you got going on?
Well, we got our weekend back to normal, which is great. Crossfire, 7 p.m. Eastern. We will be back. Got a couple of guests coming on and a lot of hot topics. It's going to be a lot of back and forth, just like tonight was, and that's good. It's good, healthy discussion, folks.
Yeah,
okay.
we got a Moochie Crap possibly tomorrow or possibly Sunday. We're going to talk about it. So.
I think we'll probably, just because we're having that discussion, it's leading towards probably Sunday. Crap.
Yes, I know. We're just now talking about this, right? Because Mooch was away, so whatever.
So that would help. But yeah, no, Friday we'll get back. Crossfire's back, folks. Let everybody know, and we'll see you guys Friday and Sunday, it looks like.
Yes, absolutely. Salty, man, what do you got going on, man?
Yeah, great discussion, guys. If you guys don't know who I am, I love to debate, man. It is.
Oh, it was a hell of a debate and all great stuff, man. It was just all great stuff. A lot of people will probably go, Mooch and Salty must hate each other now.
That's why we get on here, man.
That's right. So you guys can find me tomorrow on the Saltiest Gaming Podcast on my channel tomorrow at 9 p.m. Eastern, and that's about it. I have an Instagram, instagram.com/saltiest.
He just started one, huh? Because he followed me and I followed him back, and I'm like, oh, he must have just started this. Yeah. So, Xbot, man, what do you got going on, bro?
Well, of course, I will be there Friday on Crossfire. I can't wait for that. That is the beginning of the weekend for me. I do have a little podcast on my channel as well called The Next Podcast. We'll be going in, bringing that gameplay back, and I know I am going to be the winner this week. When you see what I have to offer, you guys are going to love it. And,
if the Don can win with a Battletoad thrust, then I mean it shouldn't take much for you to win, right? I mean, come on.
You would think so, but I got to work like 3 times as hard as everybody else on the panel. But we do have, I swear, we have like the Rookie of the Year, one of the newer gaming podcasters out there. My boy Noximus, who's in the chat, dude. He's got his own YouTube channel. You guys really gotta check out his videos. They are hilarious. They are informative. And man, he knows how to deliver on the news. You guys gotta check it out, yeah.
Absolutely, man. We'll do that. And Glitcher, thanks for joining us, man. What do you got going on, bro?
Not much, man. Just some game streaming, playing video games on Monday nights. I got my Game Dosage podcast at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we are giving away a console. All we got to do is hit 300 live views.
You guys still giving away that console?
Yeah, we haven't hit it yet. Nobody's done it.
How close have you guys been to hitting it?
We've gotten close, about a little over 100. It's just we go live right after BGST, man, and everybody's all like done. I don't know why, and we don't get it, man. Yeah, we're giving out a console, and all we got to do is just hit 300 live views, and nothing. So, but if you guys out in the chat want to sub to the channel on Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, just watch a show, get a free console. That's it.
Awesome stuff, man.
Yeah,
awesome.
Check out the Glitcher channel, man.
Yeah, and if somebody wants to throw me Fallout 76 gamer tags,
oh, wow.
Glitcher.
Oh yeah, and by the way,
no, but that's it.
Man. If someone wants to throw Fallout 76 in the trash, I'll approve that.
That's why they're going to change the name to
If you throw it
Fallout
in the trash,
86.
if you throw it in the trash, Salty will light a match and light it up. Oh man,
it was, man. We had a lot of fun, man. It actually flew by. I look up and it's time to go. So those are always the best kind of podcast, man. We appreciate you guys. Hit the like button, share it out. Thank you guys so much. Have a great night. We'll see you next time.